Ladies and gentlemen, beloved chosen ones, I want to draw your attention to something that is not ordinary, not casual, and not coincidental. Life is never a string of random events. The universe, under the authority of the Creator, operates by timing, by rhythm, and by appointed moments. There are windows when the invisible becomes visible, when the unseen doors swing wide open, and when destiny calls your name. The days of September 24, 25, and 26 are not just numbers on a calendar. They represent an alignment, a convergence, a divine invitation to step into what has been prepared for you long before you were even born. You must understand this truth: seasons come to all of us, but not all of us recognize them. A season unrecognized becomes a season wasted. And when a season is wasted, destiny is delayed. Chosen ones, there are 3 days approaching that carry weight. These days are pregnant with potential. They hold in them answers to prayers you whispered in the dark, solutions to problems that have tormented your mind, and opportunities that could elevate you beyond where you are now. But the question is, will you be ready, or will you ignore them? The universe never moves without intention, and time is not a random cycle of days and nights. Every shift of the clock, every turn of the calendar, and every rotation of the seasons carries meaning that is deeper than what the natural eye can see. Life is not built on accidents, it is structured on purpose. When the Creator set time into motion, it was designed as the stage upon which destiny unfolds. Each moment holds an assignment, each season carries a purpose, and each day is loaded with potential. What appears to be ordinary is often extraordinary if only the chosen ones would stop and discern. To the careless, a day is just another chance to live and breathe. But to the discerning, a day is a doorway, a divine appointment where heaven intersects with earth. The truth is that the earth itself testifies to alignment. The rising and setting of the sun is consistent because it was commanded to move by design. The moon does not shine on its own, yet it reflects faithfully because it understands alignment with the greater light. The oceans have boundaries, the seasons have rhythms, and the stars follow their courses without confusion. If the entire universe is governed by alignment, how much more the lives of those chosen to carry purpose? You are not meant to drift randomly through time. You are meant to move in rhythm with destiny, to be aware that there are days and seasons when the Creator orchestrates events in such a way that everything converges in your favor. There are windows in life when what has been delayed is suddenly released, when prayers whispered long ago begin to manifest, when hidden opportunities finally come into view. These moments are not coincidences, they are appointments. They are the result of divine alignment, where the purposes of heaven synchronize with the timing of earth. To the unprepared, they pass unnoticed. To the distracted, they look insignificant. But to the one who discerns, they are moments of transformation. Missing them is not just missing an event. It is missing an entire shift in destiny. When the universe aligns a season with purpose, resistance ceases. What was hard becomes easy. What was closed begins to open. And what was impossible suddenly feels inevitable. You can labor for years outside of alignment and see little progress, but one moment of divine alignment can accomplish what your strength could not. It is like a farmer who toils tirelessly but sees no harvest because he sowed in the wrong time. Yet when he plants in the right season, the ground cooperates, the rain supports, and the seed fulfills its assignment. The effort may be the same, but the outcome is different because of alignment. It is dangerous to treat time casually. Casual thinking says that one day is like the next, that opportunities will always come again, that windows never close. But history proves otherwise. There were people who had the chance to step into promise, but failed to recognize the moment. They delayed, they hesitated, they doubted, and as a result, they wandered while time kept moving forward. To fail in recognizing alignment is to choose delay, and delay is costly because the universe will not repeat itself on your schedule. The clock of heaven moves forward, not backward. Living with awareness of alignment requires preparation. It means you do not simply drift through days, you anticipate. You prepare your heart, your mind, and your actions to be in sync with divine timing. Preparation is the evidence that you are expecting something greater. If you believe the season is shifting, you make room for it. If you believe the harvest is near, you clear the fields. If you believe rain is coming, you set out vessels to receive it. Many miss their appointed time, not because heaven failed them, but because they failed to prepare themselves for what heaven had already aligned. Alignment also calls for sensitivity. You cannot rely on noise or spectacle to recognize it, because appointed moments rarely announce themselves with thunder. They arrive quietly, hidden within the ordinary, waiting for the discerning eye to see and the prepared heart to act. That is why distractions are so dangerous. They cloud vision, they clutter focus, they muffle the whisper of destiny. To be aligned, you must learn to silence the unnecessary, to pay attention to the subtle signs, and to trust the inner conviction that tells you something greater is unfolding. Every life has seasons designed for advancement, moments when the invisible hand of the Creator orchestrates circumstances in your favor. These moments are proof that you are not abandoned to chance, that you are part of a larger design, and that your existence is woven into the rhythm of the universe itself. The wise do not treat days as random, they treat them as purposeful. The chosen do not simply exist through time, they align with it. And when alignment is embraced, destiny accelerates, doors open, and what was once distant becomes present in your life. There are moments in life that require more than awareness, they demand action. It is not enough to know that time carries purpose. It is not enough to sense that the universe has aligned in your favor. You must be willing to move when the moment presents itself. Opportunity is always partnered with responsibility. The Creator does not waste time opening a door for someone who has no intention of walking through it. The alignment of heaven with earth creates a window, and that window asks for a response. Delay is dangerous because windows do not stay open forever. When they appear, they call for immediate movement, for intentional obedience, for a step of faith that proves you recognize the season. There are countless people who pray for change, yet when the moment for change arrives, they hesitate. They analyze, they question, they fear, and in that hesitation the moment slips away. It is like a ship that comes to the dock only for a few minutes before it sails on. If you are not prepared to board, it will leave without you, and you will be left waiting for another vessel that may not return for years. The universe provides appointed times, but those times must be answered with appointed actions. Knowing the season without acting on it is as fruitless as having seed without planting it. The truth is that destiny does not bend to convenience. You cannot wait until you feel ready, until everything looks perfect, until all fear is gone. Appointed times often arrive in the middle of discomfort, in the presence of uncertainty, and at the edge of what feels impossible. The chosen ones are called to act in faith, not in comfort. They step forward even when the ground looks unstable, because they understand that obedience creates stability where none existed before. If you wait for the perfect conditions, you will never move, and if you never move, you will never possess what was aligned for you. Think of how many people live their lives in cycles of delay, simply because they refused to act when their season called them forward. They stand at the edge of opportunity but retreat into fear. They hear the whisper of destiny but drown it in the noise of excuses. As a result, what was designed for their hands slips into the hands of others. Opportunity ignored is often transferred because the universe does not allow what is precious to remain idle. If you refuse to act, the appointed blessing does not disappear, it finds someone else who will act. That is why history is full of individuals who rose seemingly out of nowhere. It wasn't luck, It was obedience to a moment others ignored. Action is proof of recognition. If you truly believe the universe has aligned a season for you, then your steps will show it. Belief without movement is nothing more than wishful thinking. Faith is not passive, it is active trust. It builds, it plants, it moves, it risks, and it obeys. The chosen ones distinguish themselves not by how much they know, but by how much they do when the time comes. Knowledge of an open door is useless if you refuse to walk through it. Awareness of opportunity without action is still disobedience. There is also a cost to inaction. Many think that ignoring a divine moment simply means waiting for another chance, but in truth it often means entering a season of wandering. What could have been accomplished in months may now take years. What could have been gained in one step now requires a long climb. The weight of delay is heavy, and it does not only affect you, it affects everyone connected to you. Families, communities, even generations can suffer because one person refused to act when the time was appointed. To ignore divine timing is to rewrite not only your story, but also the stories of those who would have been impacted by your obedience. Responding to the right time requires courage. It demands that you silence fear and quiet doubt. It asks you to move forward even when you cannot see the full picture. But it is in this response that destiny unfolds. Doors that look too heavy swing open with ease, resources appear that were once hidden, and people are drawn to you who carry what you need. All of this becomes possible when you choose to act in harmony with appointed moments. When the universe aligns to give you a window, it is not testing your awareness alone, it is testing your willingness to act. One of the greatest threats to destiny is not destruction from the outside, but distraction from within. Rarely does purpose collapse in a single moment of disaster. More often it is eroded quietly by divided attention, wasted focus, and misplaced priorities. The universe can align the perfect opportunity, the Creator can open the right door, and the timing can be flawless, but if your attention is scattered, you will walk past what was meant for you. Distraction is subtle, which makes it far more dangerous than open opposition. Opposition you can see and fight, but distraction lures you into complacency while convincing you that you are still on track. Distraction is costly because it steals what can never be replaced: time. You can regain money, you can rebuild strength, but you cannot recover wasted time. Every chosen one is given a certain measure of days, and those days are meant to be invested, not squandered. The enemy of your soul knows this, and that is why he doesn't need to destroy you outright. He only needs to keep you busy with what doesn't matter. If he can capture your focus with things that look urgent but carry no eternal value, he has effectively delayed your destiny. The tragedy of distraction is that it blinds you to what is near. While your eyes are fixed on lesser things, the greater things pass unnoticed. Some of the most significant opportunities do not arrive with trumpets or announcements. They arrive quietly, almost hidden. They require stillness and clarity to recognize. If your mind is flooded with noise, if your heart is consumed with worry, you will miss the gentle whisper of destiny. It is not that the universe failed to present the gift, but that you were too occupied to notice. Consider how easily people surrender their focus. Hours are spent scrolling through endless streams of meaningless information. Conversations revolve around things that add no value, and energy is drained by chasing comparisons and illusions. Meanwhile, the assignments that truly matter remain untouched. The discipline of focus is what separates those who fulfill their calling from those who merely dream about it. Every distraction tolerated is a destiny delayed. Every hour wasted is a seed of greatness left unplanted. There is also the danger of emotional distraction. Anger, jealousy, bitterness, and fear all cloud perception. When your emotions control you, they consume your energy and rob your vision. You cannot see clearly when your heart is cluttered. Many people miss their season not because they lacked ability, but because they were too consumed with fighting unnecessary battles, proving themselves to the wrong people, or nursing wounds that should have been released. Emotional distraction drains the strength needed to act when destiny arrives. Focus is not automatic, it is chosen. It requires intentional discipline, the ability to say no to lesser things so that you can say yes to what truly matters. It means guarding your mind from noise, setting boundaries around your time, and keeping your eyes fixed on the vision you were given. The universe rewards those who are consistent, those who are faithful with the little things, those who refuse to let temporary distractions pull them from eternal assignments. The danger of distraction is magnified in appointed times. When seasons of alignment arrive, when specific dates are marked for breakthrough, the enemy intensifies distractions. Suddenly, everything irrelevant seems urgent. People who haven't spoken to you in months demand your attention. Trivial issues consume your energy, and the noise of life grows louder than ever. This is not coincidence, it is strategy. The closer you are to breakthrough, the more distractions will rise to pull you off course. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. If you understand it, you will not waste energy fighting distractions. You will silence them quickly and refocus on what matters. Destiny is fragile in moments of distraction. A single missed instruction can alter years. A single ignored prompting can delay progress for decades. What seems small in the moment is often enormous in hindsight. That is why vigilance is required. It is not enough to desire destiny. You must guard your focus like treasure. Every distraction resisted is a step closer to fulfillment. Every moment of clarity positions you to recognize the signals of heaven. To protect your focus is to protect your future, for no chosen one can afford to lose sight of what was entrusted to them. There are moments in life when movement that would normally take years happens in a fraction of the time, and it is not because of human effort alone, but because divine timing has been recognized and embraced. Time has a mysterious quality. It can feel like it is dragging endlessly, and then suddenly it accelerates, pulling you into places you once thought were far beyond your reach. This acceleration is not random. It is triggered when a life aligns with the appointed moment that heaven has prepared. The difference between waiting decades for a promise and seeing it fulfilled quickly often comes down to recognizing when the season has shifted. Acceleration is a reward for sensitivity. When you are aware that the universe is leaning in your favor, you stop dragging your feet. You move differently, think differently, and prepare differently. A person who understands timing no longer lives by guesswork. They become intentional in every choice they make. Sensitivity to moments means you refuse to treat all days the same. Some days demand greater faith, greater boldness, and greater readiness. When you sense this, you position yourself to experience in months what others labor for years to obtain. This is why many people live lives of unnecessary struggle. They work endlessly, yet their progress feels slow, their efforts seem unrewarded, and their goals remain distant. It is not always a lack of talent or discipline that holds them back. Often it is a lack of sensitivity to timing. They are pushing when they should be listening, speaking when they should be silent, or hesitating when they should be moving. When your actions are out of sync with heaven's rhythm, even good effort produces little fruit. But when your actions align with divine timing, doors open before you knock, resources flow before you ask, and opportunities come to meet you before you chase them. Acceleration is also the difference between addition and multiplication. Without sensitivity, life tends to move in small increments, one step forward, one opportunity at a time, little gains that accumulate slowly. But with sensitivity, progress multiplies. What once required 10 steps may now require 1. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes natural. It is not because you became stronger overnight, but because you finally stepped into the current of destiny that was waiting for you. Just as a boat moves faster when it enters a strong current. Your life moves further when it enters the flow of divine timing. Many fail to experience this because they are distracted or skeptical when destiny calls. They do not believe the moment is significant, so they treat it casually. They assume that another chance will come, that acceleration can be caught later. But acceleration is tied to specific windows of time, and once a window closes, the pace slows again. That is why some people look back on their lives and recognize seasons where everything seemed to move quickly, only to wonder why things became stagnant later. The answer is usually tied to sensitivity. They responded in one season but ignored another. This kind of acceleration is not about shortcuts, it is about synchronization. A shortcut bypasses process, but synchronization honors process by moving with it at the right moment. When you are sensitive, you are not escaping the journey, you are walking it at the speed it was designed for. You are not skipping lessons, but you are learning them more effectively because you are in the right season to receive them. The chosen ones who sense divine timing understand that acceleration is not unfair favor, it is the natural outcome of alignment. Sensitivity is cultivated through stillness and attention. You cannot expect to sense timing if your life is filled with noise. The whisper of destiny is often drowned out by constant busyness. To hear the signals, you must create space to listen, to reflect, to discern. Those who learn to quiet their world become skilled at recognizing shifts that others miss. They see patterns in the unseen, they hear instructions in silence, and they act while others are still debating. This awareness makes them look as though they are ahead, but the truth is they are simply aligned. When timing is discerned and embraced, acceleration becomes natural. You find yourself overtaking obstacles that once intimidated you, surpassing limits that once restrained you, and arriving at destinations you thought were far away. It is not striving that gets you there, it is sensitivity. The universe has currents, and the wise do not resist them, they flow with them. Sensitivity allows you to move at the speed of destiny, where years of labor are compressed into moments of fulfillment, and where what was once distant suddenly stands within reach. There is a cost to ignoring the moments that were meant to shift your life. When the universe aligns a window for you, it is not casual or optional. It is a call that carries weight. To neglect that call is to delay what was ready to be released, to forfeit what was waiting to enter your hands, and to step back from the very thing you prayed for. Too many people cry out for change while overlooking the very season in which change was scheduled to arrive. Ignoring a divine moment does not leave life as it was before, it pushes life backward, because what was meant to move forward with you is left behind. Opportunities are fragile, they do not remain open indefinitely, and they are not guaranteed to reappear. When a door opens and you refuse to walk through it, that door does not always wait. It closes sometimes for years, sometimes for a lifetime. Think of how many people look back with regret, remembering the chances they once had, the opportunity they didn't take, the instruction they ignored, the moment they treated lightly. What they lost was not just the event itself, but the acceleration that came with it. A single missed step in destiny can alter an entire journey. Ignoring a divine season creates delay, and delay is heavier than most people realize. It is not simply waiting, it is wandering. When you miss the right time, you often find yourself going in circles, working harder but producing less, investing energy without results, praying for what has already been released but not received. This wandering drains not only your strength, but also your hope, because deep down you know that something was missed. The heart grows weary not because destiny is gone, but because it feels out of reach. The danger is that delay multiplies. What you miss today has consequences for tomorrow. When you ignore the appointed time, the loss does not stay isolated. It ripples into your relationships, your assignments, and even the generations connected to you. Your life is not only about you. When you delay, others are delayed with you. What should have blessed your children, your community, or your legacy gets postponed because you ignored the call when it came. Destiny is always larger than one person, and that is why ignoring it is never private. It affects everything around you. Ignoring divine timing also transfers opportunities. What you refuse to honor often gets placed into the hands of another. Throughout history, there are examples of people who were chosen first, but lost their position because they would not act when the moment required it. The Creator does not allow purpose to remain idle. If you do not rise to it, someone else will. And while you can be forgiven, while grace is always available, the assignment may no longer be yours in the same way it once was. That is why hesitation and negligence are so costly. They do not simply pause your journey, they can redirect it entirely. There is also an internal consequence to ignoring divine seasons. Every time you push aside the whisper of destiny, your sensitivity dulls. The voice that was once clear becomes harder to hear. The conviction that once stirred your spirit grows faint. Ignoring appointed times numbs the soul, making it more difficult to discern the next season. This is why some people live with constant uncertainty. It is not that the signals are absent, it is that they trained themselves not to respond to them. Ignoring the moment does not mean the universe abandons you, but it does mean you must wait for another cycle. And cycles can be long. What should have taken months can now take years. What should have been gained easily now requires toil. The wasted years are painful not only because of what was lost, but because of what could have been built during that time. The tragedy is not just in missing the gift, it is in forfeiting the future that the gift was meant to create. Every delayed step has the power to reshape your entire timeline. The warning is clear. When timing calls, ignoring it destroys what was about to be delivered. To neglect such moments is not neutral, it is costly. It is a choice that burdens the future, shifts opportunities away from you, and creates scars of regret that no success can fully erase. What was ready to enter your life cannot force itself upon you, it waits for your response. And when that response is absent, destiny is not cancelled, but it is undeniably delayed. Overflow is never an accident. It is the result of being in the right place, in the right posture, at the right time. When your life is aligned with the rhythm of heaven, what was once difficult becomes easier, what was once blocked begins to open, and what was once withheld is suddenly released. Alignment is not just about believing, it is about positioning yourself so that what has been prepared can actually reach you. Many pray for abundance, for breakthrough, for overflow, but they remain out of sync with the very principles that would usher it in. The universe does not pour resources into disorganization, nor does it release blessings into chaos. Alignment prepares the vessel for the flow, making sure that nothing is wasted and nothing is lost. To be aligned means that your mind, your spirit, and your actions agree with each other and with the season you are in. It is possible to believe in your heart but doubt in your thoughts, or to speak words of faith but live with actions that contradict them. Such division weakens the flow. True alignment means that every part of you testifies the same thing: you are ready. Your thoughts expect it, your words declare it, and your behavior reflects it. When this unity is in place, doors respond, opportunities recognize you, and resources begin to gather in your direction. Alignment also requires order. Just as a farmer prepares the ground before rain comes, you must prepare your life before overflow arrives. If the ground is not tilled, the rain cannot penetrate. If the fields are not cleared, the harvest will be choked. Many cry for abundance while leaving their lives cluttered with distractions, excuses, and unresolved issues. Overflow cannot thrive in that environment. It demands that you create space, establish order, and clear the path for what is meant to come. When you do this, you are signaling to the universe that you are not only asking, but also prepared to steward the blessing. When alignment is in place, you move from addition to multiplication. Addition is when your effort brings you results slowly and steadily, but multiplication is when those results expand beyond what your effort alone could produce. Alignment makes you magnetic. It attracts people, opportunities, and resources that were once far away. You no longer have to strive as you once did, because what is yours begins to flow toward you. The blessing overtakes you not because you chased it, but because you aligned yourself with the current that was already carrying it. There is also a peace that comes with alignment. You stop fighting battles that were never yours to fight, and you stop forcing doors that were never meant to open. Instead of being drained by striving, you are sustained by flow. Peace becomes evidence that you are in sync. Even in moments of challenge, you sense that things are working together for your good, and this assurance frees you to act boldly. Alignment removes the anxiety of uncertainty because you know the universe is cooperating with your steps. Alignment, however, is not passive. It requires intentional discipline. It means saying no to what pulls you off course, setting boundaries around your time and energy, and remaining faithful to the instructions you've been given. It means checking your motives and adjusting your priorities until they reflect the larger vision you carry. Without this discipline, even the best opportunities can slip away. Overflow is generous, but it is not careless. It pours where there is structure to hold it and integrity to sustain it. When alignment is practiced, what was once scarce begins to multiply. Relationships bring life rather than drain it. Work produces fulfillment instead of frustration. Doors open naturally instead of through force. You move from living in survival to living in abundance, not because circumstances suddenly changed, but because you positioned yourself correctly. The flow was always there, waiting for you to step into it. The moment you aligned, the release began, and what comes is not just enough, it is more than enough. It is overflow that blesses not only you, but everyone connected to you, because alignment always produces more than one life can contain.